And who put it past him winning this event? But looking through the field, I mean, Dylan Leary, Callum Singleton's underway. Callum's currently just gone 3-1 up. As I was speaking, it ticked from 2 to 3. Connor Tracy 1-0 against Arf and Dad. Sean Story is waiting the winner of Scott Gillespie and Glenn Hannibal. Scott is on the hill. And obviously Josh and Kristi. So you look down through that field and you'd think that whilst a couple of players are obvious choices, but you think any one of those 8 players, you wouldn't be surprised to see them win. Apologies, I think we just had a small error and we probably weren't streaming the first frame. It was just a problem with the internet. We're relying on the hotel internet, so it just dropped out for a second. But you haven't missed too much. Missed Josh Kane. Well, you missed Kristi Caulfield breaking dry and Josh Kane clearing the table. So welcome to the stream and the quarter-final between Josh Kane and Kristi Caulfield. The match is currently ongoing just in the background. Dylan Leary against Callum Singleton. Dylan trailing 3 frames to 2 and up the table. Connor Tracy's won the first frame against Arf and Dad, and Sean Story waits the winner of Scott Gillespie and Glenn Hannibal. Scott Gillespie currently on the hill at 6-2, so that's you fully up to date with the action. As always, please do like and share the stream.
match on table 4 in the main event. Sean Storey, Scott Gillespie. Sean Storey, Scott Gillespie, table 4.
As I mentioned in an earlier stream, woke up early this morning and walked past the pool room and heard the clattering of balls and looked in, and Kristi Caulfield was having a practice at 7:20. Still going strong. Still firing on all cylinders. Kristi, the stereotypical Irishman. He's got fire in his eyes. Every time you see him in the evenings, he's wearing green shirt, green socks, green shorts, and loves a drink. But the only thing that betrays his Irish heritage is his accent. Oof. That, yeah. Big shot in the frame. Still early in the frame, but needed that one to drop. And we heard Josh in the interview yesterday say that he's plays his best pool when he's playing the likes of Declan and Tom Cousins, etc. He needs to up his game here as well. Not saying that Kristi isn't a force to be reckoned with, because he very much is. He's always there and thereabouts in tournaments. Again, another one of the players who you see spells of brilliance and great results, but just doesn't seem to pull it together absolutely consistently over an entire weekend to break through into the final. It's great to see him here in the quarterfinal. He's just a couple of steps away. I think he would have tried to leave an angle. I was just about to say he was trying to leave an angle to punch down and nudge that yellow out. And he had to force the angle. And he's just tried to play that ball to the top of the pocket and it's caught the knuckle. He did seem to play it quite quickly as well. Another one that's got away a little bit. Entirely sure what Josh was hoping for there. If he was indeed going to play a deliberate foul, why not just play the plant and leave the red over the pocket where the yellow is? But he seemed to be playing the double, and the double was towards the pocket that had another ball over it. So maybe he was just trying to cut, and it was a little too thin and just didn't get it. Just went wrong for him, perhaps. So it's quarter-final and one frame each. Could go either way. Who do you fancy for it? What's your prediction for the game? Is it? I think the favourite going into the game would probably be Josh, as the better-known player, but Kristi, a danger. In fact, we went through Josh's progress to this point, but we didn't look at Kristi's. Let's just have a run through his event so far. So he did play in round one, beat Aaron Keeling 7 frames to 1. Round 2 beat Jordan Green 7-4. Beat Steve Smart. That's a good win, 7-4. In the last 32, obviously Carl Morris. That's another very commendable win, and that was just 7-6. And then in his last 16 game, beat Chris Day. So he's had some noteworthy scalps as he's come through the field. Who do you fancy for it? In the other games, Callum Singleton 3-1 ahead over Dylan Leary. Connor Tracy 2-1 against Arvin Dad, and Sean Story. Scott Gillespie has just got underway. doesn't like the angle. He's looking now to see whether it goes into right centre. If this was dead straight, he could just screw it straight back, but the screw shot takes it towards the black. So relied on a kiss, and that's pretty good. Makes the black. Stu Barnes thinks 7-6 to Josh. So that's a close one. So he thinks it's going to go heel. Dry break. Cue ball hit the front, went straight in the air. Reese Holland thinks that Kristi is winning 7-4, but only if the dark fruits is here. He's definitely got dark fruits. He had a can in his hand just before this started. He has dark fruits for breakfast. It's one of his 5 a day. I can see the telltale signs. Misjudged that one. Misjudged it in a big way. He was looking for a cannon on the yellow at the bottom of the table, just cushioned first, trying to cannon that out, but not only missed the cannon, but he sent the cue ball into the middle. There you go. There's the proof, just on his right shoulder. That is unmistakably the top of a can of dark fruits. Some would say that it's the complexion of a redhead, but actually that's a complexion of dark fruits in the blood. Little purple tinge. Marianne asking if Tom Cousins is still in. I can tell you that he isn't. I saw him and said, "All right, Tom." Nope. He said, "Time to go home." He went out to a sublime performance from Josh Kane, 7-2 last night, and he's also gone out of the Jason Owen versus Wade Morley just about half an hour ago. But I can confirm that Tom has definitely not gone home. He's gone out to dinner. He's in training. To be fair, he did invite me out with him, but I didn't dare. Too much work to do. something missing from that shot. There's a distinct lack of players. We have one. Kristi breaking in frame number 5. Try again. He's not getting that frame going. Excuse me, not getting that break going. Supping a bit of energy. Cue ball parked on that top cushion, so didn't really have an opener on red, so forced to go for yellows. But there's traffic due to that lack of timing on the break. Everything's still kind of clustered around the black spot, around the racking area. Got an angle now to go up and attack that difficult ball in bulk, but still nothing easy here. He always knew when he was playing that shot he was probably only really going to land on the yellow he was moving. Needs another delicate little screw shot. Just needs to bring it back an inch or two. Again, lovely touch. Is there a gap? It looks like there is. Makes life easier. Gap between yellow and black. Screw back for the other yellow in the same pocket, but maybe just quit on that a little bit. Just trying to get back another few inches. So a little bit closer to his work, but again, he's fine. And at the moment, the only real difference between the two players is the break. Kristi's broken twice and broken dry twice, so he'll actually be happy to still be in the game. And one of Kristi's friends resupplying. Drop more magic potion. Effective, not sure he entirely timed it. Cue ball immediately lost to the side cushion. You can see normally when you're breaking, you're trying to hit flush onto that front ball, and you'll see the cue ball come back up the middle of the table. Whenever you see it go to the side cushion like that, it means you haven't timed it particularly well, but it was effective. He's potted a ball and he's potted a red, and it's kind of opened up. It's going to be going yellows. They all have a pocket. You've got to fancy him for these. I'm assuming the yellow that he's closest to goes past the other yellow to middle pocket. If it does, he's fine. If it doesn't, he's still got a bit of a problem. Yeah, it obviously does. He's cueing it. And then he can hold the cue ball in bulk for these two. And he's judged that really well. Inch perfect. If he'd overrun that by another inch, then he was going to be struggling. Should be dot to dot from here. Plays it with the pile of right hand side so you can see the cue ball grip that side well and launch down table to leave a perfect angle for the one in the middle. Yellow into the corner, stun back through the gap for the final yellow in the bottom left hand pocket and the black in the middle. And the dry break from Kristi costing him 2 frames. The reverse dish by Josh, followed by a break and clear. Those are scores from the Jason Owen Open. And you're watching the main event. Finally some success from the break. And he did time those much better. Just needs to make sure that he doesn't land behind the red, and absolute perfection. Quick player. It takes no time over winning that frame, and now back within 1, and that's what he needs to do. Keep the pressure on. Yeah, someone on the chat mentioned timing the cue ball, which is always an interesting conversation. But, some people argue there isn't any timing, but actually there very much is. If you think about timing a static ball in golf, hitting the sweet spot. So it's that hitting it at the absolute perfect space on the club, on the perfect space on the ball, and it's the same with a break. It's hitting the front ball in the sweet spot, but not just that, it's the cue ball coming through that stroke. If you think about what the cue does as it comes through that stroke, and there's so much that can go wrong. If your elbow's just out of alignment, it needs to come through in a great motion so you hit the center of the cue ball in just the right spot, because if you play it with top, the cue ball's going off the table. So but the thing is with timing, it's not really something that can be taught. You can teach people the fundamentals, you can teach them how to stand, you can teach them what position their body should be in, where their back arm should be, where the cue runs maybe under their chin, between their eyes. You can teach all those fundamentals. You can teach people how to pot a ball and screw a ball and so on and so forth, but you can't really teach timing. It's something that comes with experience. And it's such a subtle difference on the break as well. You can see some people, they absolutely smash the front ball, but and all of the balls could have been touching, they could have been perfectly racked, but they smash the front ball and there's no transfer of power through the pack. You just don't get that explosion. And it could be it's just a fraction of a millimetre difference between that and hitting it right in this sweet spot. Talking about the sweet spot, Josh is finding it at the moment. He's cueing the ball nicely. He's got a lovely angle to come. Just needs to come around about, well, probably just across to the right hand side of the table. Oh, there is a gap. I thought you had to come further across, but actually there's a gap between these two yellows, which makes it even easier. Josh suddenly hitting the ball with a lot more authority, reminiscent of how he was playing against Tom Cousins yesterday. And suddenly he looks a much more formidable opponent than he did in the first couple of frames. Even his stance, when he sat there in the seat, perched on the edge of his chair, ready to go, it just looks focused. And when you talk about timing, Kristi just hasn't timed the break at all well. Really struggling. And you can tell because every time he breaks, the bulk of the balls are at this end. He's still potted, and he's still got half a chance. Probably more than half a chance, actually. The little kiss on the yellow's just pushed it to one side, and he needs to get the ball in bulk off the table as soon as he can, because it doesn't connect with anything. It doesn't connect back down the table. He can't leave it until his last ball. The black doesn't go into either bottom left or bottom right. So he'll want to leave one of these balls at the bottom of the table as his last ball. So it's about how you get from that ball on the bulk line back down the table. And that's what he's thinking about now, because the ideal ball to make that transition is the one that he's just about to pot. Because that's a ball that's easy to get back on. So now he needs to time this really well. He needs to pot this and screw back to probably 12 inches short of where he is now. Doesn't need any power, just needs timing. And snatched it a little bit. You can see he just jumped up off the ball, and that's cost him. It's one of those, you don't need to hit those hard. But yeah, you saw his head come up. Yeah, Marianne hit the nail on the head there. Ben Davis. I mean, there's no one looks more graceful when they're on form. A huge break. There's a few notable players who break exceptionally well, and he's one of them. Craig Marsh, another. Jordan Shepherd, actually. No one really associates Jordan with a huge break, but he really does. Not only power, but it's, again, really good timing. Almost looks now that the writing's a little bit on the wall for Kristi. I did hear him talking to the top table just before this game started, and he said that he's played twice on the stream table before and lost both times. And you kind of wonder, when someone's saying that, you've already got that negativity in your mind. You're already thinking that the arena's against you somehow. I mean, as an opponent, I'd love to hear that. Nice delicate shot, and just trying to develop everything whilst keeping Kristi under the hammer. Oh, it definitely touched. I think Josh was asking, he said he didn't see it, but yeah. I think it barely made it. Decent effort. I said to Josh Kane in the interview after he played Tom Cousins yesterday that this is as good as I've seen him play, and he's not doing anything spectacular, but what he is doing is just making the game look easy. Hitting the middle of the pocket with everything he goes for. This is really good. And he's on the hill. Frustration. Cue ball straight in. Kristi needs these mistakes from Josh because he needs to win 4 frames from here and Josh just needs 1. So he is relying on Josh going awry. He can't afford any mistakes himself. There's 2 reds. They're natural pockets are blocked. He can land on this one, which I think that's a decent angle as well. I think he can run through to the gap to play the red to right middle. That's the. He just didn't want that kiss. I don't think he's got it. He's still got the one to middle. He can run the cue ball up and down the table and find the gap on the right hand side. I think maybe he can get through. Wow, turned it over. You could see the spin on the ball. Very expressive player though. You can see the movement of his body as he's playing that shot. He kind of went with it, and that is going to catch him out now and again, as we saw earlier when he came up on that tough shot. He's a very busy player. Obviously, we're getting very much to the business end of this tournament now. This is quarter-final, and we're going to try and play down to a final tonight. I see no reason why we can't. So please do like the stream. We've got quite a number of viewers, and just 2 people have liked it so far. That's what we really ask of you guys, is just to like and share the stream. It really does help us to promote this stream, promote the game, promote the event, and allow people to watch. And if you haven't done so, please do subscribe to the channel as we approach 10,000, and you will then get notifications whenever we go live. Thank you in advance. That's okay, but I mean, it's still pretty ordinary, isn't it? Yeah, he was unlucky there because that yellow was out, and I must admit, when I said it's okay, I thought I'd looked at the yellow and it was okay, but the red had come back across and closed the path. Oh, just caught the knuckle. Still nothing really easy for Josh. I mean, it's a makeable clearance, but with that red just above the middle pocket, I mean, one that in bulk that needs good position. Obviously, these two on the left-hand side. It's you fancy it's a low percentage clearance, but I don't really see any option. I think he has to go for it. He could maybe play the red that is just on the cushion and screw in behind the other one, but I don't think you can. He needs to be really accurate because that yellow is looming over the middle pocket. I think play this and then you got a cannon on. He's actually now has a line on that ball in bulk. Can he play that? Does he have an angle to play that and get into that red on the right hand side cushion? Not sure, probably a little bit too thin. Again, nothing looks particularly nice. The one next to the black he could play long and land on the one at the rail. That's what he's playing. Oh, he played the snooker. So, much better option. The question is, I was going to say, has he got the snooker? I think he has, but it's one cushion. He just wants to flick this. Yeah, that's a good shot. That's nice. Oh, he's been really unlucky there, actually. That was a great shot. That yellow's just bounced. Just a few millimetres too far. Now the red that's in bulk will pass into that pocket. If that stays over the pocket, he's got decent control in this frame. So I think it's probably all about that ball on the right hand side cushion. He can land on it. Play this one to bottom left and he can land on it.
Alexandra and Lindsay on table 18. On table 17, Luce Nichols, Megan Proctor.
That looks pretty perfect.
Nichols, Megan Proctor, table 17.
And this is why I said Kristi was so unlucky with that yellow just coming away from the pocket. He played a great shot. It was just a few mil too much. And I think that is the end of the line for Kristi Caulfield. It's going to be Josh Kane. He's going to be the first of our semi-finalists. He'll play the winner of Scott Gillespie and Sean Story.
On table 14, Lauren Williams, Dawn Wright.
Callum Singleton 5-2 up against Dylan Leary. Arf and Dad 5-4 against Connor Treacy. And it's Josh Kane. He lands perfectly on the black. And as I say, the first person to make it through to the semi-final of the main event of World Rules Pool Tour number 4. Players shake hands. And well done to Josh. And a valiant effort from Kristi, but just probably a couple too many mistakes in the quarter-final. But Josh in some rich vein of form at the moment. And looks like he's got a nice wedge of money there as well. Maybe been winning with the... We're going to stop in for a few words with Josh in the interview room. Hopefully we'll see you over there in a second.
On table 6, that was, sorry. Table 6, for the boys, bronze and bracket. Table 5, Kane Gardner, surgeon. Kane Gardner, surgeon, table 5.
You.
Josh, we were talking yesterday after the Tom Cousins win, and you said that you bring your best game when you're playing the best players. Kristi, probably not amongst those names, but also a formidable opponent. You know you had to play well there, and you did. You pulled it out again.
Yeah, it's never like me and Kristi were really good friends. Obviously, we're from the same town. We practiced together quite a lot, socialised together a lot. So it's never easy playing a mate. And I knew I had to be on top of my game because he's one of the most naturally gifted pool players I've ever seen, not out of anyone. But he just maybe didn't have that dedication from a younger age. Else he could have been, in my eyes, one of the top boys. Really,
Yeah. Probably just a couple too many mistakes in there from him. Maybe rushed a couple of shots. I did say before I was at the top table, and he was talking to the top table and saying I've played twice in the arena and lost both times. As soon as you get that negativity in your head, I mean, if you'd overheard that, you'd be thinking, happy days.
To be honest, I don't know what it is with him, because even on the IPA, like he struggles a little bit when it comes to the games on the TV. It can't be nerves, but I don't know, just maybe not used to the table, because the stream tables play different. Obviously, I've had a match on there. I don't think I made too many errors in that match. Maybe at the start, I think I made a silly error to go 2-1 ahead, and he went 2-1 ahead, and then he made an even bigger error to go 3-1 to him, and it could have been a different game. But luckily for me, I dug in and got the win.
So you're the first player across the line into the semi-final. I think you play the winner of Scott Gillespie and Sean Story. I think Scott's currently 4-1 up in that one. So another big matchup. Whichever one of those players wins, it's another big game coming up.
Yeah, obviously, semi-final event like this, the field's stacked with top players. You're not going to be getting an easy game. Even the last 8 stage, you've got to be on your game to get through. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next round.
I mean, you said you relished the games against the top players. So
yeah.
Another one to look forward to in the semi-final.
Cheers, Nick.
Best of luck in it, Josh.
Thank you very much. Cheers.